Hello, this is me, Tony, again from the Game Challenger UK and YouTube. Just want to say thank you very much for being patient with us. We're using a centralized system to address a decentralized message. So sorry about that. Sorry about everything. I'm very happy that you're patient. And hopefully those of you that missed it will be able to get a chance to come and see it later. Now, this today is about, is calling crypto a scam the biggest scam ever? Is it? And why do we say that? Because for years, the internet was called a scam. If you really think about it carefully, the internet was called a scam for years. Also, mobile banking was called a scam. Yeah. Also, they said Africa would not leapfrog the West. Yeah. Yet, living in a digital world where money itself is changing. So we're looking at things are changing, but before they change, they called them a scam. That's in my mind. Yeah. So today, what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about digital money. We're going to be talking about crypto and the future of the economic freedom, especially in our community. So I'd like first to introduce our co-host first, and Bosse is on. Joe will join us later. Hi, Bosse. I hope
Hi,
you
Tony.
heard
Good
another
evening,
clip.
everyone. Or should I say good afternoon? Hi.
Wow. I'm so excited. I'm
So
so
am I.
excited. We've got someone very special, very powerful. And guess what? A woman for that matter. I'm just excited. What about you, Bosse? Are you excited?
I'm very excited because I know who you're talking about. So very excited.
Right. So we had a little bit of a hiccup before, didn't we? Yeah,
we did.
I think that someone was trying to take me out. And guess what? They tried, but they didn't succeed because we're here right now. Yeah. And I'm here right now. So guys, anyone that tried to take me out, you know what? I keep coming until we get it done. So guess what? So guys, decentralized. So Boss, do you want to say a few words before we bring our special guest on? I know Joe is going to join us later because he's pumping up. He's so
very
excited. Yeah. But do you want to say anything before I bring?
Well, if anybody's got any comments or questions, please put them in the chat, and if we can answer some of them, that'll be great. But it's going to be a great discussion, guys. So please tune in. It's going to be great.
Great. So what I'd like to do is introduce. I call her the queen of crypto. There's so many fake queens out there. So many fake queens. They call themselves the queen of crypto, but this one is the real deal. The real queen, the queen that knows, that's been there from the Bitcoin era and now is coming up to where we are right now. And her name is Asada.
Look, I want to sing that song. Who runs the world? Girls. Who runs the world? Girls. What's up, y'all?
You know what? I don't like the way you brought that song in. Yeah, because I thought you were going to add girls and men. Oh, girls and boys.
That's your fault because you said, and she's a girl. You said that. And she's a woman. So I said, he wants to make this gender specific. Okay. What's up? But anyway, I love all of the brothers and sisters in this whole world. And yes, thank you for the compliments. Being a crypto queen, you got to live up to that title. So, and I do. I make sure of it.
Great. Fantastic. So let's Asada, what do you have in special for us in so far special for us today?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me because it's humbling. You grow up in the world and you just make decisions. Crypto is a decision that I decided to get a part of, and you do it. You help people, but then people start taking it seriously. And then there's this, you become an important person. And so for me to be here today, wow, it's important because look, you're not around the corner. You're on the other part of the world for me. And we're still building together. And so what I have to bring to the table, I think mainly is what's the agenda? Okay, what we're doing. Crypto is a thing. It's currency. But I am a child of Marcus Garvey, of Queen Nzinga, of Angola, of Nat Turner, of Harriet Tubman. Those are all revolutionaries. And I feel like I am a revolutionary in the crypto space because my goal is to emancipate people. So connecting with you, writing Breaking Free, connecting with Bosse, doing what she's doing with marketing and data analysis. And I'm in the right place with big people. I'm surrounding myself with big people. So today I'm going to bring my perspective on where we can go with this as a collective people around the world. And no matter who cares about it or not, we don't care what power people think they have. We have power too. And I think I want to talk about that power today as well.
Wow, wow. Well, Sada, let's start light. I want to start light. There's so many powerful nuggets you've got there. I want to start light. So what was the first moment? When was the first moment you realized that crypto was bigger than even digital coins? When was the first moment you realized that?
Sure. You know, when I do my presentation, I do a presentation every other day during the week, just telling people the crypto basics. And I talk about how when it was first introduced to me, it wasn't explained to me. And you have to explain cryptocurrency because it is new to the world. So when it was brought to my attention, I said, humbug, get on out of here. I didn't pay much mind. But there was something, you know, if you're a spiritual person, you ain't got to listen to nobody but God, for real. Boop, boop. And so a voice told me, you better find that person who wanted to introduce you to crypto in a new unit of time. That might have been like maybe almost 10 years later. And I went to find the person that was going to introduce me to it and found her. And, you know, it was just that voice that said, you need to learn more. And it just so happened that they had data, right? They had data, but it didn't make it clear enough for me to understand, but I knew I needed to find out. So we're talking about like 2017-ish, maybe, right? And I had been introduced like 2012, but 2017 is when I said, okay, if these people are not making this clear enough for me, I am going to learn it and make it clear enough for others. And that is when I took the responsibility of taking the information that was given to me and then putting it in a way where it could be learned. I was a teacher in my past. And so about 2017 is when I went hot and heavy. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not like a big old expert who's going to look at the market and going to do, I don't have to do that. I always find accelerated programs that accelerate my growth of cryptocurrency because I'm a single mom, I'm rocking and rolling. I don't have all the time to be watching the market and all of that. But when I join these accelerated programs, and I've only done a couple, it allows me to work in a group. And that is how I've always grown crypto, in a group of like-minded people who rock and roll. We're all learning together, but then we understand the importance of legacy, working with our families, changing our home economy, some real basic things that you don't really find in a centralized environment, like a government, you'll be working all day trying to make it. And by the time you make the money, here come the government taking it from you, or in America, the IRS or whatever. But crypto has provided the power and the autonomy that is very comfortable for me to create money in a way that, you know, to create a currency where I have the freedom. I remember when my daughter, she was 18 at the time, she's 22 now, but she was looking at her wallet going, Mommy, is all this money mine? I was like, yes, it is yours, baby. It is. And so we were making so much crypto. This was during the pandemic and we were all on lockdown. So I couldn't make money the regular way through a job or whatever. But crypto saved my life, baby. And it made it so that my daughter was able to grow in crypto as well. So all of the above, like I said, 2017 with a start, pandemic, 2020, boop, 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 all up in there. So crypto's been a big part of my life since then.
Wow. Thank you for that. Wow. During the pandemic. I love that. And you know what I like also what you just said is, you know, your daughter. That means you're starting her young.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things we have, especially in the Black community, we don't teach our kids about finance. Sure. And in schools, they don't teach them about finance. I remember reading a book called, was it Rich Dad, Poor Dad or something like that?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Robert Kiyosaki, yeah.
Exactly. And now we're doing the same thing, but this time in a different market, in the crypto side. And this time is our opportunity to now educate them at the start.
Yes.
I want to just bring Bosse in here because Bosse, you heard obviously Asada, one of the people that says who runs the world, girls. No, I'm not sure about that. It's still in my head. Who run the girls? Yeah. But I wanted to say, from your research and from your experience, I know you're into data. Why do you think people associate crypto with scams? Is it lack of education? Is it media headlines? Is it bad what is it? Bad actors? What's the reason? Why, in your opinion?
Well, if we look at it, crypto has been in the news and the media for the past few years, and it's been associated with scams, money laundering, investment scams, fake investment schemes, and it's had such a lot of negative press. And I personally have also known people that have been seduced by these smooth talking people posing to be like crypto investment, have be part of crypto investment schemes, and they have spoken to some of the people that I've known. This is what they've told me, and they've got them to join this particular scheme, and they've told them to create a digital wallet and then transfer their money from a digital wallet to another digital wallet. And then this is how the scam works. It then shows them the money growing every week. They see the money's growing. And then they invite more friends in. And then before you know it, the rug's pulled from underneath and they've all lost their money. So all of this negative press and media and what people experience is unfortunately associated crypto to making people think it's a scam. So when they hear that word, they're just very dismissive because it's just like scam. That's all they hear. So I think it's a lack of knowledge, lack of education, financial literacy, and also people just dismissing it because they just have now associated crypto to being a scam when it's actually not. But there are people out there doing such scams. So yeah, there's unfortunately, because of what people are hearing and they know people that probably experienced bad things with crypto, they've now associated this crypto to being a scam. So yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Okay.
But we're here to educate. Well, not just to educate, to tell people about it today and just give some knowledge about it. Yeah.
Can I say something about that?
I just want to just come bring Asada in at this point, but I want you to do it from your experience angle. Yeah. Now you've seen people lose money, and you've also seen people get rich. Yeah. So why do so many people hear just the negative stories?
First of all, I don't know a bigger scam than being told that there is money that we use, talking about American money now, that hasn't been backed by gold since 1971. That means that money had no value for 54 years, and we still used it. Now, you want to talk about a scam? That is a scam to me. But because certain people have power over it, we didn't know. So we just keep using it, right? But that to me is a problem. And I think when you look at just what we call fiat money, that's the money you get from your government. Fiat money, oh my gosh, the amount of games and thievery and all the things that have happened, we just got, I guess, desensitized to that so that it didn't really matter. But now that cryptocurrency is new, people just don't have the education. You don't know what you don't know, right? And so people don't know, they don't even know people who have it. They don't know if it can really work. And so what I personally can say, even to give myself the confidence enough to write the book, Bitcoin for Black People, I wrote that book because, one, I've seen crypto work. Bitcoin is only one type of currency, right? But I've been able to observe different currencies and what I like. You know, right now I'm rocking with Polygon. We know that. Woo, talk about that in a minute. But just seeing that cryptocurrency gave me an opportunity to make my own decisions in money and not feel like somebody was going to take that right away from me, right? Because they didn't even know. Cryptocurrency is such that when you download that wallet, they don't even take your name. They don't take your address where you live. They don't even take they don't take your social security number. Like, it's a different platform of dealing with finance. And so this type of autonomy, I'm going to tell you, the switch to me in this world is not what we think. It's not that, oh, this is digital money. It's the fact that people are not used to being free. They are not used to being responsible and accountable for themselves and their money. They are very used to a centralized entity running their life for them. Can you tell me what my password is? Can you tell me? Like, it's just no responsibility for your own self. And that is what I'm finding the biggest shift is getting people in a position to be responsible enough to handle their own money. Because that's what crypto is. You have to handle your own money. You're responsible for your password. You're responsible for where that, if you got a Trezor, a device, which, I'll show right here. This is where we store money. You see that? See that? That is a bank. It's a bank in your house. So for me to teach people about this and to teach them that you can store your money on this and then you have it in a safe enough place in your house. All of these things are where I find the gradient is the largest to get people to realize what we're dealing with here. And so it is okay, but it's not a scam just because you don't know about it, guys. People call it a scam when they don't have the details about how you do it or the details about how it can work. But that's why we're here today, to take away the mystery. There's no mystery. It's just a decision you got to make and then, just grow from it. So I don't know if that answered your question because, I can go all around.
Because the Asada, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because that answers the question. But I think one thing is, like I said, so many people hear the negative
Yeah.
news. And I think the people that have positive news about it don't voice it.
Yes.
They're anonymous, aren't they? Yeah. But the people that have the negative news, they're obviously going to be visible and shout. And what I've also noticed with everything, bad news travels fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the key thing. And Bossa, you wanted to say something on this point?
Yeah, I love what Asada said. And I think that the media drowns out the positive news as well, because all you hear in the media, and some of it's intentional, is to just associate crypto to being a scam. But there are a lot of people that are making a lot of money from crypto.
Sure.
And I think what I loved about what Asada said is the fact that when I've spoken to people that have unfortunately been involved in fraudulent investment schemes and have lost a lot of money, when they broke down to me what's happened, it's their lack of financial literacy that has let them down, their lack of understanding the whole process, their lack of understanding the digital wallet being in someone else's account means you're not in control of that money if it goes up. So the rug can easily be pulled from you. So, once you've talked them through it and they've realized, I shouldn't have let them do that because I didn't understand the process. I was just so con with all that, the smooth talk and the money going up, I didn't really even understand what was really going on, Right. So the education is important because once people start understanding everything, then they wouldn't put themselves in that situation to be vulnerable so that people can take advantage of their lack of knowledge, of them not understanding the process, of them not understanding having your own digital money, your digital wallet is important, not being, your money represented in someone else's account. How can you control that situation?
Yes.
Sort of thing. So, yeah.
Yes.
And Bossa, with your being in data, and you've obviously looked at a lot of data related to all this, banks especially, and fiat systems. Have they not failed people just as much? Are they, or even more than just crypto scams? Have they not in banks? What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a good question because when I think about banks, they've allowed people in these crypto investment schemes to get money, take money, a substantial amount of money from people's account, and then they then say, well, you've authorized it, but you're a bank, you're supposed to kind of like vet these kinds of people taking money, and they've started to tighten up their security system, security protocols now. But I remember in the early days, a lot of people were, money was just easily able to be transferred from their bank account, and then the bank saying, oh, sorry, we can't do anything, it's gone, there's nothing we can do. So how are they protecting, their clients, their customers, sort of thing? So they have failed people in that sense. But then it's also people failing themselves in their lack of knowledge and understanding, and getting involved in these systems where they say to the people, oh, I take over your computer, let me take over your computer, and then I manage your digital wallet, and then what they get access to their bank details, and then before you know it, they're in their bank account, transferring money. So the banks have a lot to answer for in terms of managing these fraudulent transactions and getting the money back.
Well, I mean, Asada, I'm sure you have something to say about that.
Of course. Of course. So the main thing I want to say is, and this is where the education comes in with crypto, you don't want to give people your money. Don't do that. Like anything that I've ever gotten involved in with crypto, the money always goes straight to you. Someone tried to introduce me to someone who was going to do some crypto transactions. And I just had a few questions. And I was like, so what are we doing with the money? She said, oh, you just send it to me and then I'll go and I'll trade it. And I said, but I don't know you. Yeah, but I mean, it's like a trust thing. I said, yeah, but I don't know you. Like you could be going tomorrow. And she was like, well, you just have to trust me. Bye-bye, boo-boo. We're not doing that. So anything you do with crypto, in my humble opinion, you should have the control of the money. I love the space we're in right now with Trust Poly, because all the money goes to the people. There's no central organization holding money, right? And so when you're dealing with crypto, you want to make sure when you see money getting made, you see it getting made in your wallet.
Yeah.
You're not looking at some data in a computer somewhere. No, you want to look in your wallet that's in your hand and say, oh, I see the money grow. And that way, you know, it's for real. And that, again, is where the education comes. When I was educated about crypto, it was made very clear on how to store that money and where not to store it. Because some of these organizations, like in America, or PayPal, is PayPal a thing with overseas as well? Yeah. So even PayPal talks about we do Bitcoin. Hey, they got Bitcoin, but you can't take it out. Don't get it there. Like, so they got people just get it in there, but then they can't do anything with it. So, I mean, you just got to know what's going on with the crypto you're dealing with. Is it decentralized crypto or centralized crypto? If it's decentralized crypto, guess what? You have the power because there's no central organization, decentralized. But when it's a centralized entity, that means, oh, Coinbase, who, or companies, whatever, they own it. So if they leave tomorrow, they leave with your money. So you just got to know the difference so that you don't get had, because you'll get had in the crypto world if you're not educated, for sure.
All right. So you mentioned, I like you to focus on a few points that you just mentioned, or just one point for beginners, because we have a lot of beginners, a lot of people that are on the fence. For beginners, what would you say are the simple checks people can do to avoid being scammed and stay safe? What are the simple steps?
Sure. Simple steps is the type of wallet you have. That's the first thing to me. Do you have a MetaMask wallet? Do you have a TP wallet, right? These are spaces that actually ask you, do you want to save a recovery phrase? It's like 12 words you get. Or do you have the private key? Like that's a warm wallet, like a MetaMask, like a TP is a first step. Have that. Because when you have other things, like I had one person ask in one of the environments I'm in, what about Robinhood? They have Robinhood here in America. Robinhood and PayPal and Coinbase and Cash App. Those are places that have crypto in it, but they're centralized, guys. That means you don't own it. They own it. So the first step is get a nice warm wallet, MetaMask, TP, and the like. And where you own that codes, you're the only one to have the codes. You're the only one that has them in your house. You're good. So that's the first step. Then you can look into putting crypto in that, because once you have your wallet, you're good to go. So for beginners, that's your first step. And they're free. You don't have to spend money to go get a wallet. They're free. Just download them. If you got an iPhone or Android, you can still download the wallets. And they say, which one should I get? Talk to me, call me on Facebook and I'll tell you. But you could just get whichever one feels normal. I really like TP right now. It's very simple. And that stands for token pocket. So that's the first step. Get a nice little digital wallet.
Okay, I want to pause right there.
We're going to rewind selector. Guys, we've done some amazing things, talked about some amazing things. We've challenged the idea if crypto is a scam or is the real scam the lack of education in finance and in crypto. Yeah. We also talked on how every major technology was a scam before it changed the world. And crypto is just falling into this whole new technology. And the reason why this has all happened is because of misinformation, the fear, and also these are the things that are holding our community back. The message is clear. Without knowledge, fear always wins. So we don't want fear, so we're going to give you knowledge, and that's what this is all about. So in the next part, we're going to talk obviously about education, and this is falling in there. Education, education, education. We're going to talk about the banks in there. We're going to talk about the governments. We're going to talk about control. We're going to talk about decentralization, centralization, security, and what financial freedom really means in a borderless digital world. So you need to stay tuned to the next one. Bosse, Queen of Crypto, Asada, and our security man, Joe, is going to be ready and waiting for you to talk about all those things. So please take care of yourself and stay tuned. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. Click on the like now, click on the share, and subscribe. Notify so that you hear when the next one's out. So that's me, Tony, over and out. Let's break free. Breaking free. Get it?